Welcome one, welcome all to the Controller Dimension podcast, your one-stop shop for all gaming news, commentary, and whatever I want to talk about. And coming up in the show today, we have a little bit about E3 since it's pretty much right around the corner. We got a couple weeks to go, so we're going to talk a little bit about some of the stuff that's come out since then that's going to be at E3 for both Microsoft and Sony. Nintendo will not have a press conference at E3, but I believe they will still have stuff on the show floor. Nintendo's gonna kind of do their own thing like they always do. They have their Nintendo Direct conference, and I believe that is June 8th. I could be wrong, could be June 9th. But E3, the Sony press conference is going to be June 9th, and Microsoft as well. Now, before we get into all that, I'll just I like to start out the show by a little bit of discussion, on kind of how everything's been. If you guys would like, go to look up the channel, look up some of the videos I've posted. We've had some good Infamous gameplay. I put a lot of Battlefield up lately, but that will be changing. I'm gonna be putting up a little MLB 14 to show. Yeah, I do like sports games. I'm sorry for you guys that hate them. Don't be freaking out on me. No sports games, they're terrible. Whatever. I don't really care. I like playing a little bit of everything. Heck, I'll even play a side scroller from time to time. So that's kind of me in a gaming nutshell. Pretty much a little bit of everything, whatever I think's fun. If I stop having fun, I'll just stop playing it. Plain and simple. So let's get into a little bit about the Microsoft deal here. We right before E3 a couple weeks ago. It's kind of old news now. They uh, they stopped bundling Kinect with the Xbox One. Now this is kind of a huge deal, and I did video on it. You guys can definitely feel free to go check it out. Basically, what this kind of comes down to is Microsoft finally seeing nobody wants Connect, and whoever booted them in the ass, amen, brother, amen. Microsoft is it's a company that needs to start listening to consumers. End of story. And that goes for Sony, that goes for Nintendo, that goes for everybody. Listen to the consumers. I mean, EA, look at them with their microtransactions. Sometime the bubble's gonna pop. And when is it? When are the consumers gonna get tired of microtransactions and this day one DLC BS? I mean, come on. Let's stop these practices now. We finally got a win with Microsoft. That's one up to the consumers. And also, the bundle's going to be $3.99. It's going to be right on par with the PS4. And I personally, I think that's a good thing. I do play PS4. It's really the only gaming thing I have at the moment. I do play a little bit on PC, but my PC's really not the greatest. So there's plans in the ether there to upgrade my PC, and definitely going to be playing some PC games. But that's kind of where I'm at now. I do have a Vita, and I love my Vita. Absolutely love my Vita. But yeah, I may at some point looking at buying an Xbox One now. Now it doesn't have Kinect. To be completely honest, I'm really just not a big fan of the first party games. I'm not a big fan of their exclusives. Xbox. I don't know. It's an inferior product this generation, and I don't see a reason for me to get one personally. Halo doesn't do it for me, and either does Gears. So that's, to be honest, that's really all they have. We'll see what Titanfall does. I'm definitely interested in that game, but I have a feeling it's going to be ported over to, well, not ported, but developed for the PS4 next year as well. So we'll see with that. But some of the stuff Microsoft has coming out, they've got Fable Legends. That's going to be some gameplay at E3. Uh, Beyond Good and Evil 2 gameplay. We got a Halo 5 tech demo. That Halo 5 does look pretty, I will give them that. Not a big fan of the overall franchise, but it does look pretty. And we've got we've got COD Advanced Warfare gameplay. Now, that looks interesting. It almost looks like Titanfall on a smaller scale. The robots aren't as big as a building or anything. You got guys in these mech suits or whatever you call them, exoskeletons. I mean, whatever the term you think fits, hey, use it. I don't care. We got Quantum Break gameplay, a little bit of Star Wars Battlefront 3 gameplay, and they're going to have some stuff on the Titanfall DLC. And then, here's the big thing. There's rumors of Halo 2 Anniversary Remake. Now, that's a pretty big deal, I guess, in the Halo universe. Halo 2 is one of the better Halos, and they're actually looking like they might be coming out with an anniversary. So that would make sense, but, because that would make sense because Halo 5 is still probably a year out, but at the same time, I don't understand the remakes. I mean, Sony does them, but they Halo 2, I don't know. I don't know. But I will say Sony did a remake of Final Fantasy X, and well, Square Enix did. I'm sorry, did the remake of Final Fantasy X, and that was good. I've got that on my Vita. I've put I don't know how many hours into that game. That's good. But Halo 2 anniversary, I don't know. What I think they should do is they should come out with a whole bundle. You have Halo 1, 2, and 3 maybe, because Halo 4 is pretty recent. But Halo 2, 1, 2, and 3 in a HD remake bundle, why not? That's what God of War did. God of War Collection. They had all the older God of Wars, remade them, and there you go. That's the God of War Collection. I think Halo should do that. I really think Microsoft needs to push it and have them do that. I don't know what the rights are. I don't know if they can bundle 343 and Bungie games into one. I don't know. It'd be cool though. It'd be cool. Now, also we have on the conference we're gonna have Gears of War 4 and Forza Horizons, and that looks pretty cool. The only problem is, the last Forza game had microtransactions. And I hope Forza Horizons doesn't do that. I really hope for Microsoft's sake, because to be honest, there's not a whole lot of exclusives right now, really for either console, but definitely for Microsoft. You got Titanfall that is cross-platform, and then so you can play it on your old Xbox 360. So why would I go buy an Xbox One when it looks just fine on the 360, or you got it on PC? I mean, there's like one or two exclusives, but none of them are really, really big exclusives. But I think Gears coming and Halo, but they should have come out with these just like PlayStation come out with Uncharted. Bam, day one launch. You know how big that would have been for Sony? And same thing for Microsoft. Halo, day one, bam. Now, I understand there isn't a history of doing that, but you gotta look at it this way. The old consoles are so long in the tooth. If you bring something out that blows everyone away, like Halo, a big franchise, make it look pretty, that's what you need. We need this stuff because right now it's. I mean, I don't even know. Like my PS4, yeah, MLB The Show came out. You got Killzone, Infamous, great games. But Microsoft, what do you got? Bring it out. We want to see the games. Make me want to go out and buy an Xbox One. Because, yeah, I wouldn't mind buying one, but I don't have $400 right now. But give me a reason to go out and buy your console. To save up that $400 to go buy one. And that's what both of these companies need to do. We need to have more big games come out for them, more exclusives. Not PC also or last gen. We need a straight up exclusive for this console. End of story. That's what we need. And until that happens, I think either console, yeah, they're selling great right now, but I think there might be a drop off. A lot of people might go to PC because I see a lot of people holding out right now that have the Xbox 360 and PS3. I think a lot of people are holding out to see what happens. I mean, why wouldn't you go to PC gaming? I got my PS4 on launch, but at the same time, maybe I should have saved that money and actually built a PC. I'm kind of thinking that could have been a good decision. Not that I haven't had fun on my PS4, but what games are there right now? Yeah, we got Watch Dogs is actually going to be released fairly soon. And then other than that, I mean, but that's on PC too. So I don't know. I don't know what games are out there that are really driving these sales other than, oh, it's the next big thing. Whoa. Everyone's got to have the next big thing. But like I said, I got my PS4 on launch. I probably shouldn't really be talking like that, but it is what it is. I love my PS4, but I wish more games would come out that are exclusive to the console because PC gaming is looking better and better every year, and stuff's getting cheaper. You can build a really good PC that'll play Battlefield 4 on high settings for like $800, and that PC is going to be able to play all these games on high or ultra high settings for probably the next 4 or 5 years, and then it's just $100 to buy a graphics card. Whereas the consoles, God only knows what our lifetime is going to be with these consoles. What's the lifespan of them? They're saying 10 years. I don't know. I mean, they're having a hard time right now hitting 1080p 60 frames per second, and that's been a staple on PC for probably the last 3 or 4 years at least. And I know the PS4 is doing better than the Xbox One, but neither console is doing very good in that whole 1080p 60 frames per second. No one's doing good. The resolution war is definitely won by PC. Second place PS4, and last place is Xbox One. Nintendo, I don't really even. Nintendo does their own thing, man. They come out with Mario and that's it. That's the only thing they come out with. But yeah, we need more big games. I'm glad to see Forza Horizons. I'm glad to see, Halo 5 and then Gears of War 4. I'm glad to see these games coming out for the Xbox One. Now, let's change gears a little bit and let's talk about Nintendo. You can see I did a video on my channel, kind of Nintendo Down is what the name of it was. And it was kind of discussing the Wii U and how it's bringing Nintendo down. And Nintendo is in a sad place in the moment, and they lost a lot of money. I mean, they lost a lot of money with the Wii U, and the biggest reason is they didn't market it right. All they showed was a tablet and a thing like a box sitting in the background that looked like the Wii. What does that mean to you? What it means to me, I'll tell you that. But what does it mean to you? I would love to know what you thought these advertisements meant. And put yourself back then before you even knew all this information now, before you knew the Wii U is an actual console. I want to know what you thought when you saw that first advertisement for the Wii U. Leave a comment in the description below. Let me know. I would love to know because I'm telling you what I felt. I felt, okay, Nintendo's coming out with a tablet for the Wii. Cool. And that's something that very well could have happened. That very well could have happened for Nintendo. They could have come out with just another Wii add-on because the Wii sold an obnoxious amount of consoles. They clearly won last generation. So hey, it's the Wii U's coming out, but Microsoft and Sony aren't coming out with a new console, so why would Nintendo so soon? And that's why I thought that it was just a tablet until like 3 or 4 months after I walked into GameStop. I'm like, by the way, what's this Wii U? Oh, it's a new console. Okay. I had no idea. And I keep up on this stuff. And I still had no idea until like 3 months later. So, Nintendo, you need to market I mean, you can't really go back and change the marketing, but you just need to bring out your games. I'm glad Donkey Kong's out. I'm glad Super Smash is on its way. We need this stuff now. We need this stuff. You should have had it at launch, man. If you wanted this thing to succeed, stop doing Luigi crap. Everyone cares about Mario, Smash Brothers, and Donkey Kong. And hell, even bring out a new Zelda game. Bring out a more mature Zelda game. Because, I'm 22, okay? When I started playing video games, I played Mario on the SNES. That was my first ever console, my first ever game. Super Mario Brothers. Okay? I still to this day love Mario. But I'm 22. Yeah, I may play it for a couple hours. I haven't even bought a Nintendo console in a long time because it's all geared to kids. I mean, yeah, I'll buy it for Mario, but you know what? Me and a lot of other people in the world don't have the money right now to buy your console just for one character, Mario, whether it be any of them, Zelda, any of them, Metroid. And speaking of Metroid, where's Metroid? Where's a grown-up version of Metroid? I want to see these things, these characters grow up. That's what I want to see. I want to see a grown-up, character, a grown-up Mario. I want to see all this stuff, for us, people that are, the average age of gamer now, anywhere from 25 to 30, right around there. A guy in his 20s is not going to want to go around and hop on a bunch of freaking turtles. No. We're looking for more in-depth experiences. We're looking for, games that might have a little blood and gore. And if not, then games that have a powerful story, games that have a good message. We're out of the 90s, we're out of the 80s when it was just side scroller, hop on stuff, no story, or first person, very little story. We're out of that. Look at the games that are coming out there doing well. You got The Last of Us, Uncharted. I mean, you got Gears, you've got Halo, you've got all of these coming out. You got Spec Ops: The Line, that sold fairly well. You got all this stuff coming out, and you're still coming out with Mario. You're still coming out with an old remake of a Zelda game. Come on. We need a story, Nintendo. Give us something. Let's change base a little bit, and let's talk about Sony and their E3. And we have a new Uncharted 4. Sunken Blade is going to be the name. Now, it looks pretty good. We've seen a couple leaked trailers here and there on it. It looks pretty good. But there's been a lot of controversy. Well, not really controversy, but a lot of unsettled stuff behind the scenes at Naughty Dog regarding Uncharted 4. The game director's gone. Now it looks like the guys that made The Last of Us are going to be taking over the game direction for Uncharted 4. Now, this, in my mind, means one thing. It's going to be a lot darker. It's going to be a darker story. It's going to be probably a better story, but it's going to be darker. And that's pretty cool. That's really, really cool. And we're going to see a little Drive Club gameplay. We're going to see, I guess, a lot of new games. Maybe God of War 4. That's a rumor out there. And of course, we're going to see Destiny, and we're actually going to see some good gameplay of The Order 1886. Now, Sony finally coming out with Uncharted 4 is a good thing. And God of War 4, that is kind of a wild card in this whole thing. I mean, God of War is a really, really high selling franchise for Sony, and God of War 4 is definitely sounds like it's something that's happening. and I really hope it does. I love the God of War games. They're very, very good. One of the best hack and slash that I've played, and I really enjoy them. Now, Destiny, of course, is going to have gameplay because Sony's kind of in bed now with Bungie, kind of like Microsoft was. Not to Microsoft's extent, but they're kind of in bed with Destiny. They're Bungie's actually creating, I think it's like some exclusive content for Sony, whatever. But that's going to be out there. I guess that's coming out later this year. So look forward to that. I don't know if I'm really into it. I'm not a big time sink kind of guy. I just don't have the time anymore. I work full time. I just don't have the time to sit here and play a game. It's going to take 300 hours to play. Persistent online. It's just not my thing. I like games, like MLB The Show, where I can just sit down, play a few games, call it good, or Battlefield. Hop in, play a couple multiplayer games, and that's it. That's what I do. I don't really sit here and play these persistent games online. It's just I don't have the time. I really don't have the time. I wish I could, but I can't. Now, the Order of 1886, that looks really, really good. It looks sort of like a third person God of War type deal. I'm not sure. This might be Sony's answer to God of War, but to be completely honest, I don't know why Sony's doing it because God of War hasn't sold very well in a while. So it looks good though. It's got a little steampunk esque essence to it. It looks fairly good, and I'm definitely excited to see some gameplay of it. But outside of that, there's not a whole lot else, that I've heard about E3 that sounds too exciting. I hope we have a good E3. I hope some big games come out. I hope some, blockbuster, in your face games come out in the conference. I really hope that that all comes out. I really, really do. And I think that's it for the Controller Dimension podcast, episode 1. Thank you for listening. I think next week I'm going to have Mr. Paintball Kid 123 on the podcast. He's actually my future brother-in-law, but I'm gonna have him come on the podcast, and we're gonna have a couple little discussion topics. He likes Microsoft a lot, and cool. He plays a lot of PC games. He likes cars, which I like too. So we'll kind of talk a little bit about that sort of stuff, and we'll have a little discussion podcast. We'll talk a lot about video games. We might get into a couple other subjects, so feel free to listen. And as always, thank you for listening to the Controller Dimension podcast. This is episode 1, and look forward to hopefully have you guys listen next week. Thank you, and take care.